Good morning, YouTube. Today's Bible verse comes from Ephesians chapter 4, verse 1. As a prisoner for the Lord, then I urge you to live a life worthy of the calling you have received. That is today's Bible verse. As a prisoner for the Lord, then I urge you to live a life worthy of the calling you have received. This is Paul's letter to the Ephesians, and the title of this chapter is called Unity in the Body of Christ. So before we dive into this chapter, I'm going to play a little quick game, real quick game. It's called Name That Job. All right. If I told you that a person wore a hard hat, he or she would wear a reflective shirt or vest, green, bright green, yellow, orange. He or she would wear jeans and steel toe tan boots. Which job would that person have? You guessed it. Probably a construction worker, right? Okay. So if I told you that this person wore like a long white coat or gray coat or possibly smocks with a stethoscope around their neck, what job would that person probably have? You guessed correct. Doctor. If I told you that this person wore like a white coat and a tall white hat, which job would this person have? A chef. Okay, so you got them all right. So let's go back to today's Bible verse. As a prisoner for the Lord, then I urge you to live a life worthy of the calling you have received. So I had to go to the dictionary to break this verse down so that it's easier to digest. Okay, so I'm going to read it again. Paul is saying, I am a prisoner for the Lord. Then I urge you to live a life fitting of the job you have accepted. All right, let's read it one more time. I am a prisoner of the Lord, and I urge you to live a life fitting of the job you have accepted. So how many people knew that when you decided that you were going to be a Christian, a follower of Christ, that you accepted a job? You accepted a job. So then my next question is, well, what does a Christian look like? We talked about what a construction worker would look like, what a doctor would look like, what a chef would look like. What does a Christian look like? What does a Christian look like? If we look at the amplified version of the Bible, they give us some descriptions of what a Christian would look like. So I can go all day on this, but I'm not. For the sake of time, I'll just give you the bullet points that you can meditate on them, and you can, look further into them if you want. But what the Amplified Bible says with this verse, that as members of the body of Christ, as Christians, we should live a life that exhibits godly character. That was number one. Living a life that exhibits godly character. Number two, we should have moral courage. Moral courage. Number three, we should exhibit personal integrity. Personal integrity. And the fourth one is we should show mature behavior. Mature behavior. So, as Christians, this is our job for the body of Christ. As I go down to Verse 15, it says, instead, speaking the truth in love, we will in all things grow up into him who is the head, that is Christ. From him the whole body, joined and held together by every supporting ligament, grows and builds itself up in love as each part does its work. I'm going to read this one more time. Instead, speaking the truth in love, we will in all things grow up into him who is the head, that is Christ. From him the whole body, joined and held together by every supporting ligament, grows and builds itself up in love as each part does its work. So to put today's Bible verse into action, live an application of today's Bible verse. Do your part for the body. Do your work for the body. We all know now what our job is. We are supposed to live a life that exhibits godly character, have moral courage, personal integrity, and mature behavior, working to build up the entire body of Christ. That is our job, working to build up the entire body of Christ. We all have to do our part. So, remember, you have the power to make it a great day.